everyone. I'm Juliette.
And I'm Karl.
And this is the VISIONURI podcast,
where we talk all things eyes.
Whether it's eyewear fashion from our collection, Nuri Lens, or trending eye health phenomena, we cover some of the things that people might not think about related to their eyes, but should.
We'll explore hot topics in the world of eye health, talk to professionals in the field, and share stories of real people with real life experiences.
We invite you to join us as visionaries looking toward a future with a clear view.
Everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the VISIONURI podcast. We're so glad you guys are joining us today. I'm here joined with Juliette, of course. Juliette, how's it going?
Going well. How are you?
Good. How's your week been?
It's been a week. It's been exhausting. Spending hours in front of my computer, of course, with my blue light blocking glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's hot. Why is it so hot? Can we talk about why it's so hot outside?
It is. It's that time of year where it's just like uncomfortably hot, like
emphasis on uncomfortably hot. It's kind of like, God, what do we do?
Yeah, it's like I don't want to be outside ever, but
right.
What can you do? Anything exciting happened this weekend?
Well, we were at the National Urban League Conference, Black Excellence Marketplace, that was hosted by the Greater Washington Urban League, which is located in the DC metro area. It was really, really nice. We were able to connect with other Black-owned businesses, of course, and also just awesome people, professionals, organizations doing great work in the community. So whenever you're among, I would say, family, it just feels great. It makes you feel proud. It makes you feel proud to be representing the community, serving the community. Of course, it's awesome to connect with customers. I love when customers put on Nuri Lens frames, or they show up with their own. It's just like Nuri Lens frames becomes the addition to their swag, right? You have people who are ready. You can already tell they have like a whole collection of frames. And so, you get really excited to see how Nuri Lens frames really accentuate their personality. And that was something that I noticed at the Black Brilliance Marketplace. So shout out to the National Urban League and the Greater Washington Urban League. If I have the name correctly, shout out to both of them. You guys are doing great work in the community. And it was, again, a great opportunity to meet some great people.
Yeah, and that's something, like, as you were saying, like, that I think is especially cool with our frames is that, like, you can find a frame for any day and how you're feeling, any mood you're in.
Absolutely.
Whatever. Absolutely. And that's the day I have my lose on in the silver oak, because that's just kind of how I'm feeling, and you see, you went a little bolder than me, got the New Yorks, so
this is one of my favorite pairs. We're both originally from New York, so obviously you have people, you see, honestly, anything goes in New York. I think that's really what it is. Anything goes. You see the craziest things in New York, but it's really just a demonstration of how people are just not afraid to march to the beat of their own drum. So I love how my New Yorks feel when I put them on.
Yeah, I save my New Yorks for special occasions, like those I put those on, is like, all right, I want to be seen, and this,
you about to step out.
So, a little bit of something for every day, All
Absolutely.
Right. So we have a topic today. We're starting with the who's wearing what, right? This one's interesting. This one, as we've said in the past, the who's wearing what is when we pick someone, a character, a person, famous or whatever, and we decide what frames we think they would wear within our Nuri Lens collection. And the person we had decided on was no other but the infamous Oprah Winfrey.
Auntie Oprah.
Yeah. Everybody's auntie.
Can I tell you, I used to rush home to watch her show when she had the Oprah show.
Did you really?
Oh my gosh. That was the one show, like my parents didn't like me watching TV, but that was the one show that my parents like, there was no debate about it. Outside of this Spanish soap opera that I was obsessed with. But
yes, but then we'll see. I don't know.
What happened?
You might have the edge on me for this one then, because I wasn't that dedicated to
Listen, Auntie Oprah is my girl.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This one took a little thinking for me, but I made my pick, but I'll let you go first, of course.
Why do I always have to go first? Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. Auntie Oprah usually wears round frames. So I was gonna give her the Elwood Cities.
Okay.
I was. Because that's something that's just normal. Yeah. But I'm like, no, Auntie Oprah needs to step out of the box a little bit. And I know she would. She's brave enough to do it. I did also think the New Yorks, right? But I wasn't a fan of the square frame. I wasn't too sure about how that would go on her, but I think it would go with her style because it's kind of like, so Oprah, the frames don't make her in a sense. Does that make sense? She makes the frames. So I think honestly, any pair from our collection would look good on her. Nevertheless, what I selected for her,
Montego Bays.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Montego Bay. I'm gonna zoom in. You can see the detail on the wood detail with the oak.
Yeah.
On the temples. And really, I think a bigger or a little wider frame goes better with her outside of the round. And so that's what led me to this cat eye, which again, I think she would definitely make that frame. That would be a really good look on her. Tell me you didn't pick the same one, did you?
No, of course not. I picked the right one.
I cannot. She's my auntie though.
Similar to what you're saying. Like Oprah is, that's her. Like she's her. That's Oprah, right?
Right.
Big personality. Everybody knows her. And she wears the frames don't wear her, right?
Right.
I thought about Oprah, big personality, all these things. You know who else I thought about? Juliette, And because of that, it's just ironic.
Because I'm her niece.
Juliette
I am her niece.
Wearing the same frames that I chose. But that's why I'm going with the New Yorks, And yeah, I think she could pull them off. Now, I had also thought like maybe it's not gonna look great with her, the shape of her face, but I'm gonna zoom in on the New York so I can see all the detail. But she could rock anything. That's Oprah. Like
she really can. I just thought maybe the New Yorks might be a little too bold. That's why I went with the Montego Bays. But I can see the New York.
There's no such thing. You see, I was thinking about the Montego Bays, and I also thought the Port of Spain, but I was like, that's too typical for Auntie Oprah.
Those Port of Spains, I was going to choose the Port of. I'm not gonna say I was gonna choose the Port of Spain. I thought of the Port of Spain. They did come to mind. They did, but I went for the Montego Bays instead.
I just felt like everything else was on the safer side, and she would, live on the edge.
Okay, I think I might agree with you on these New Yorks for Auntie Oprah.
Yeah.
Oprah, so y'all, let us know. Matter of fact, we're gonna send a pair to Oprah, and hopefully she lists us in her favorite things or something.
Honestly, she should. I don't see why not.
Right.
So
well, let us know what you guys think. We want to know, do you see Auntie Oprah in Montego Bays? Do you see her in the New Yorks? Or would you recommend a different pair of frames for my auntie? And Auntie Oprah, if you ever land on this episode, I hope you understand that I'm your niece, that you never knew you had. Anyway. Okay, so this podcast is sponsored by Nuri Letter, a handcrafted wooden eyewear company. We offer a number of vision and eyewear solutions, whether prescription or non-prescription. Nuri Letter combines style, performance, and sustainability by creating an experience that encourages self-expression, impact, and improved vision health. Visit nurilens.co for more information. That we have completed our Who's Wearing What segment. Now it's time for our topic of the day.
Okay.
And for our topic of the day, we actually have one of our followers who sent us in his story. Okay. These stories are from real people. We allow them to use either their real name or an alias, but again, to protect their identity. But again, we remind you, these are from real people. So today's story is from Fritz Joseph, who's from New York. And it reads, Dear Nuri Lens team, when I was younger, I was a camp supervisor and was playing basketball with the kids. A girl who was playing with us went for a steal, stuck her finger in my eyeball, and almost took it out the socket. I honestly was in shock, and my eye was extremely red. It was like blood in the shape of an eye going vertically through my eyeball, but I continued to play. I actually dropped a triple-double before going to get medical attention. One of the chaperones at camp treated me by putting drops of lemon in my eye. He said that this was a remedy used in the islands and even did it to himself to convince me that it was the right treatment. It felt like searing, agonizing, burning pain, but I didn't know any better. I continued doing it for the rest of the time I was at camp. When I went to get my x-ray done, the eye doctor told me that it was a miracle that I still had an eye because the angle I was hit at could have severed my cornea. But I'm still curious about the lemon treatment. Was this the right thing to do? Optical manager.
Wow. What a story. Okay. There's a lot to unpack.
Honestly, like our parents are Haitian. Is this something, first of all, is this like a real thing?
Well,
putting lemon in your eye?
I've heard of people using like lemon for like infections, like bacterial infections that they have in their eye. So if you have like pink eye or something like that, that could help because lemon, like it has like an antibacterial component to it. But that doesn't seem like that was the case in this particular situation. That's a story. Wow. Okay.
That's a real story.
Yeah, that's a
First
story.
Almost how did this work? Like I have nails. So imagine me playing basketball with my long nails and I go for a steal and I miss whatever it is. And then I poke someone in the eye.
Yeah. So he said it was red, right?
He said it was red, yeah. And he said it was like a red eye going vertically across.
I'd imagine
or vertically, I'm sorry.
There might have been like a blood vessel because there's like small blood vessels in your eye. And one of those might have but that would not necessarily, it could cause pain, but I think the pain was probably more from probably had a corneal tear from getting scratched, right? And so back to what I was saying before. So I'm kind of piecing it together. Back to what I was saying before. When you have pink eye, obviously your eye is like very pinkish red, right? So when he saw the supervisor or whatever that ended up putting the lemon drops in his eye, I imagine that might have been what he had thought, like, oh, there's like his eye is red, his eye is pink, whatever. I knew back in the day to put this drop in, but those are two very different
right.
So if he did have a corneal tear, which he probably did, which was causing the pain, those lemon drops or citrus drops or whatever was a horrible idea. That's not a good idea. Because that's very acidic and that's just gonna kind of like eat away at the tissue. And then like that cornea, which is supposed to protect, is that the most outer layer is supposed to like protect the softer tissues in your eye. Like now that's those. So that sounds like a very painful experience.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In this situation, how should the eye been treated?
How should the eye have been treated? To avoid like infection, get antibiotics. They
Okay.
could do something where they could put like a contact lens on, or they can do like an embryonic membrane, which will kind of help like the tear in that cornea. Like it was like a small disc that they'll put a contact lens over it, and it'll help it like regrow so that it can kind of
Got
like
you.
fill in the gaps. But the lemon juice was definitely
So
not
like,
the.
okay, so imagine like you're camping and you're in the middle of the woods. Of course, you can't
Yeah.
find a contact lens. So as emergency treatment, what am I just putting wet paper towel over my eye? Because that's probably what I would think to do. Take some paper towel and like put it under hot water and then just cover my eye.
Your eye closed.
I guess.
That, I mean, so in very like isolated environments, like you're stranded on a deserted island and you have a scratch on
Right.
your eye,
Castaway.
your best bet is to allow your body to heal itself.
Okay.
You're not gonna be able to find any like sterile solutions or like
Right.
artificial tears, preservative free drops. These are not gonna be available. So like your best bet is honestly probably just patch that eye closed. Like close your eye, patch it over if you can get like tape or something to just keep it closed and like
Right.
allow it to heal itself. That would be my like if I was stranded, no other options, I'm gonna let like my body heal itself. The last
Right.
thing I want to do is mess around with it too much and expose it to different things, because now you
Right.
risk of actually it getting infected, and once infected, now that's a completely different problem.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things that could happen that you could do, but in terms of like this particular situation, I think as long as he wasn't in like dire pain, if he was in pain, maybe some numbing drops if they had those, like the medics had some
Right.
drops or something, so he could alleviate the pain.
But
And
not
so
some acid from a lemon.
yeah, not a lemon. Definitely, I would definitely have not gone the lemon route. But I have heard of lemon being used for like bacterial infections. But
So perhaps this is the remedy that is being used, that or maybe that is used in the islands, that from this, chaperone's perspective was like, okay, maybe if we use it for like pink eye or whatever, it'll be appropriate if somebody got knocked in the eye.
I think it was probably just like a cause and effect kind of thing. It's like his whole life he knew that using lemon drops helped when someone had a reddish eye. So he saw someone with a reddish eye, and he may not have been able to distinctify what the cause of it was, whether it was
Right.
for an infection or a viral infection, or
Right.
hit in the eye, or like a blood vessel popping. So like I think that might more have been his reaction. I think even if you do decide to go the lemon route, which I am not suggesting, if you do decide to go the lemon route, definitely mix it with purified water if you can, just to
Right.
like lighten the acidic components of it, and definitely do not drop it directly in the center of your eye, because what can
Where the
end up
pupil is, you mean?
yep, because what can end up,
Mm.
if you thin that layer of your cornea, you can end up developing like thinning of your cornea in that area, which can lead to a lot of bigger problems, um like bulging of your cornea, which is like keratoconus, when like there's a thin spot, right? And
Right.
because thin spot, your cornea in that area, like your eye starts bulging more out of that area. Yeah. So it can lead to a lot of different issues. And now who knows, you need a completely like a complete corneal transplant. So you don't want to deal with that. So you scratch your eye, you get hit playing basketball, someone's going for a steal or whatever, a block, I don't know.
Right.
Don't stay in the game and try to get a triple double.
Do
Go
you
sit
hear that, Prince Joseph? Do you hear that?
Yes, go get medical attention immediately, and listen to a medical professional. Um, yeah, so that would be my
I hope
advice.
you got your answer. The lemon was a very bad idea.
Yeah, I mean,
So let me ask you this, right? Now that we're on the topic, we spoke about the lemon,
mhm.
but I am curious about the fact that he got knocked in the face. And I noticed that, basketball players, they don't wear protective eyewear. Neither do football players, of course, they have that
The
their
helmet.
helmet that protects
Yeah.
them. But people who play soccer, people who play basketball, people who play tennis, they don't wear protective eyewear. I mean, I've played volleyball, I've played floor hockey, and I played bracket. I played different sports in high school. And
Yeah.
of course, you're not wearing protective eyewear, but there have been times I got hit in the face very close to my eye. So in the same case with Fritz Joseph, are there any people or are there any recommendations for sports players in these types of sports to wear protective eyewear?
Well, I know. So every sport is different. Like even football, like you were saying, while they do have helmets, I know there's times that people still get like hands in their helmet and they get poked in the
Right,
eye. So a lot of times it is like it's hard to avoid.
right.
But for example, there's a famous basketball player, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? So he's like a 7 foot
Mhm.
tall center, right? And
Right,
played in the 80s, 90s a little bit. And he had early in his career, he had because he's so tall, what ends up happening is like a lot of the shorter players are reaching up at him, right? And I remember,
got you.
yeah, he said this in an interview or something, like because like they're always reaching up at him to try to get the ball or whatever. A lot of times hands are close to his eyes, right? And
Right.
gotten scratched on, I think he got scratched on one of his eyes one time. And since
Wow.
then, for the rest of his career, he wore goggles. So there are measures that you can take to try to protect your eye. I just think it's interesting that like until it happens, a lot of the time people don't really consider it, right? But once it does,
Right,
in the case of like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like once it did happen
right,
for him, he was like, I'm not dealing with this ever again. I don't want to have this stress like playing basketball and worrying someone's gonna swipe at me or reach
right,
for,
right.
so he decided for the rest of his career he's gonna wear goggles. And I mean, he had a great career, so I think it turned out for the better. But um, it's kind of just trying to keep track of how to avoid unnecessary injuries, because injuries are a part of
Right,
sports, but
right,
your
right,
eyes
right.
are very crucial to you playing those sports. So definitely, whatever you're doing, if you can protect your eyes, I say you should. Um, I've seen stories of like hockey players who were like goalies, and like goalies, they have like this,
Right,
they have a cage over their head, but during
right,
practice, they're like, no, I'm not gonna wear this, because it's
right,
just
right,
practice.
right,
Now they get hit in the head with a puck, they get black eyes, they get cuts on their lids, they get like,
right.
and sometimes their eyes never fully recover. You get detached retina
Wow.
from the impact, yeah, it can be really bad. So especially if you're playing like those like there's like soccer and hockey, I think, are the two highest like concussion sports. So they're getting hit in the head a lot and
Wow.
losing
Right.
a lot of like black eyes. So I
Wow.
mean, I don't see many soccer players wearing goggles, albeit because they're generally
I mean,
playing.
I don't think I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I don't know. If it was me out there and I was doing this on a regular basis all the time, I think I would consider it, at least at the bare minimum.
Right.
But
I mean, even in episode one, right? I shared how I was playing double dutch.
mhm,
And, I know when I was a kid, we didn't play with the cute little light ropes. We were out here pulling cables. You
yeah,
went to the dollar store and got a cable because those are the ones that were hitting the ground and
mhm,
giving you the impact you needed so that you could stay in the rope.
yeah,
But sometimes you can get hit in the face from those ropes. And I mean, as kids, we play soccer, we play football, we do it in the street, we do it in the parking lot, and so on and so forth. And none of us ever think to wear protective eyewear.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like Fritz Joseph at camp, where now he got to have lemon drops in his eye.
Yeah, I mean, and
he put some protective eyewear playing basketball.
yeah.
And God forbid, imagine if she had nails as long and pointy as I did. Riot.
I mean, based on what he was saying, the doctor said, like, he's lucky it wasn't worse, especially with like the ill advice he received in terms of like his treatment, and then also just like the impact of the actual incident of getting hit in the eye, you know. So it sounds like his eye is doing okay now. I mean, he didn't say there was anything going on. So
we hope your eye is doing okay, Fritz Joseph, wherever you are. Did I call him Fitzgerald? I feel like
from New York.
I called him from New York. Fritz. I'm hearing Fitzgerald. But yes, Fritz Joseph, wherever you are in New York, we hope that your eye's okay. And we hope that when you play basketball, you at least with some goggles on so no one's poking your eye out.
Something, yeah.
And we hope that you are never again trying to put lemon in your eye for any reason.
Yeah, maybe you'll see an eye doctor next time.
And that's why it's important to go to your eye doctor.
Yeah, definitely. So you're not exposed to some malpractice.
Right.
Ooh, that's a story.
That is a story. And speaking of stories, are you ready for my favorite segment?
No, no, I'm not.
I see the excitement on your face. And speaking of eye doctor, that's part of our joke today. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just as a disclaimer, Dr. Juliette Nelson loves to laugh. So these are always my favorite segments because I get a good kick out of these riddles. Okay. Guess who I bumped into on the way to the eye doctor?
The mailman. I don't know.
Everyone. Everyone. No? You're laughing at it because you know it's funny. Everyone. I mean, if it was me and I wasn't wearing my glasses on my way to the eye doctor, I'm bumping into everything that's a thing or everyone that's a person. Seriously, Karl, that was a good joke.
That was a good joke. I would like to say, as a public service announcement, if you are going to your eye doctor as someone that works at an eye doctor and you suffer from some illness or disease or whatever that's causing you to have blurry vision, bring someone to drive you, okay? Because
so you're not bumping into everyone.
Yeah, you're not bumping into everyone in your car isn't bumping into everyone's car as well. All right.
That's important.
Yes.
That is important.
Bring somebody to drive you because a lot of times you go for your complete eye exam, you're gonna get dilated. So be prepared for that. You know? All right. That's it. That's my rant for the day. Yeah, that's my rant for the day.
Well, this was a good episode. Thank you again to Fritz Joseph from New York for sharing your story. Listen, y'all, if you have any eye health questions, any stories you'd like to share of an eye craze or disaster or something that you'd like us to share, feel free to DM us on social media, or you can send an email to info@nurilens.co. That's info@nurilens.co, and share your stories, and we will talk about it on the podcast. Well, this was great. Episode 3.
Episode 3 in the books.
We're right in the books, and we're so excited because we're definitely looking forward to having so many more conversations with you guys on eye health and why it's important, and how it really factors into so many parts of our life. Remember that if you would like to shop Nuri Lens, you can get 20% off your purchase with the code, I believe it's VISIONURI20. VISIONURI20. So shop, get 20% off. our entire collection with Visionary 20. And remember to see through the lens of your purpose. Juliette Nelson signing out.
All right. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for tuning into the Visionary Podcast. We hope that you receive some nuggets that will help you make better decisions about your eye health. Anything we've discussed in this episode should not be taken as medical advice. And if you have any questions or concerns about your own personal health, please reach out to your local doctor.
If you like what you've heard, feel free to leave us a review with your feedback. Also, feel free to visit our website at www.nurilens.co for your next pair of frames.
We offer non-prescription and prescription options with different features to fit your style and vision needs. Enjoy 20% off your purchase with the code Visionary20 today. That's Visionary20 today.
Remember to see through the lens of your purpose. We look forward to chatting with you next time. Bye.